If you are selling fucking Lamborghinis and Bugattis, yeah, you shouldn't be telling that to somebody who's trying to get students so they can, you know, teach them online so they can make enough money to earn a good income and can go and work remote or go and live somewhere like Thailand. That advice just doesn't work. Hey, what is up, guys? This is Brett here from brettdev.com and welcome back to the channel. Now, today in this video, I want to talk to those of you who are aspiring to become digital nomads, aspiring to work online, to move to places like Thailand, and really have no clue how to do it, okay? Because when you first get into this sort of lifestyle, or when you first get this idea of this is what you're going to do, you're going to make money online, you're going to become an online entrepreneur and all of that stuff, you immediately get hit by a barrage of complete and total bullshit. Okay, there is so many people out there online peddling crap, peddling bullshit, and after 10 plus years of working online, I have seen all the bullshit, I have consumed all the bullshit, I have wasted years following bullshit advice, and so hopefully what I want to do in this video is kind of dispel some of the myths that are out there and dispel some of this crap so that I can save you time, okay? Because I don't want you going down rabbit holes, I don't want you blindly copying gurus online, thinking that you're going to make it rich, thinking you're going to make it out to Thailand, when in fact they're not helping you, they are hurting you. So like I said, what ends up happening is you get this idea, you decide, I want to go and live in Thailand, I'm going to be a digital nomad, and you go online and then you start finding all these experts, right? And you start following them all, and what do they say? They say, this is the way to make loads of money. Do high ticket, just do this, just do that, you'll crush it. How I made, you know, $50,000 in 30 days. This is the only way, this is the answer, this is the solution to your problem. And you follow more and more and more of this stuff, and what ends up happening is you start to get dopamine addiction, right? We all know what that is, where you are consuming content and consuming and consuming and consuming. You may even be acting on the content, which I'll get to that in just a moment, because they don't just hit you with the dopamine addiction of consuming endlessly, but the advice they're giving you just isn't good. It's like straight up bad advice, right? And honestly, I swear to God, if you could remove all of these gurus from social media, these online business gurus and these make money online gurus, there would be far more people succeeding, right? They hurt more people than they help. They waste more people's time than they do help people. I honest to God believe that. You have no real filter to kind of figure out good advice from bad advice. You have no actual experience working online, so you haven't actually tried and tested anything, which is, you know, is the basis of what you should be doing. It shouldn't be consuming content and copying other people. It should be trying and testing stuff. And you have a surface level understanding of how to do it, right? So with a surface level understanding, you're just going to get surface level results. So instead you think, okay, this guy has all this experience, I'll copy him and I'll do what he did. However, what he did won't necessarily work for you, okay? Despite what he or she says. Now, there's three things that the online marketers and the online gurus do to basically fuck you up. The first one is, like I just mentioned, they come up with they take an idea, they package it, and they tell you that it's the only way to do it, or it's the best way to do it, or it's the fastest way to do it, or it's the easiest way to do it. Faster, easier. Those are two big like hooks in marketing, right? But they essentially want you to buy into whatever it is they're pushing, and they'll tell you that it's because it worked for them. Look at these results we've got, all of this other stuff. But one thing that they fail to ever tell you about or to take into consideration that you're not going to think of for yourself when you're first starting out, because like I said, you're brand new to it, you don't know what you do not know, is that everything in life, everything in online business is nuanced. Okay, now I'll explain what I mean by that. So for example, if you watch somebody online who says, you know, you just need to get your clients on the phone and sell them high ticket. You know, high ticket's this big buzzword that goes around on the internet. Like, just sell expensive stuff, man. You know, there's one famous guru who always says this: just sell expensive shit, right? Now, if you're teaching guitar lessons online, yeah, you are not going to get somebody on the phone and sell them $10,000 worth of fucking guitar lessons, right? So, but they never explain this. And when people are going into it blind, they go, oh, well, this worked for this guy. And they never stop to actually think about what it is they're trying to do, what it is they're trying to sell. Like, are you trying to build an online English teaching business? Are you trying to get clients? You know, I guarantee you there are people out there that have spent months setting up websites, setting up client tracking systems, setting up call booking systems, setting up this whole ecosystem of a high ticket funnel to probably try and land an English teaching client. And it just won't work, right? Because students who will hire you to teach them English aren't going to pay you 10 grand. Right? That's just the way it is. But these gurus push this stuff like it's the only way. So you have to be able to, you know, discern, like, to not follow blindly, basically, right? Do not buy into any one thing that anybody is pushing. Now, I call this the mega influencer paradox, okay? So a lot of the people that you follow that will give you this sort of online business advice, these are guys with like 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 million subscribers online, right? Now, those people with huge, massive social media followings, I actually think that they are the worst people to give you advice, right? Because think about it. If Kanye West just puts his name on something, it's going to work, right? If Kanye West said, hey, book a call with me, I'm going to sell you $100 grand a year coaching program, he'd make millions, even though it'd be like, what's he coaching me on, right? Kanye West could coach you on fishing and he'd still make millions, okay? Because they have huge brands, huge audiences, yeah? So pretty much anything they do will work. So essentially what they do is they try something on their business. They go, look, it made me $1 million in a month. It works. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you. It worked for them because they're famous. Right? But that's all they need. That's all they need is to show you a dollar amount, to show you, look, I did it and tried it and it worked for me. But none of them are honest. None of them will tell you the fucking truth. None of them will tell you that it worked for them just because they have a massive audience. No one goes, hey, you know what? I've got 5 million people follow me. Actually, do you know the percentage of people that bought this? 0.001%. And that made me $1 million. Because if 0.1% bought whatever it is you're selling, you'd make fuck all. Right? So I call this the mega influencer paradox. They get so big that they're actually out of touch with the small person. You know, the guy who's working day to day, the guy who's just starting his business, the guy that's just trying to build a sustainable income so he can come and live somewhere like Thailand. When you take in so much information, this guy's strategy, that guy's strategy, look at me interview this guy who's made £1 million over here. Look what this guy did. Oh, he did JV launches, or this guy, he did this, or he did that. When you take in all of that information, this is where you get really fucked up, okay? Because when you're taking all this info, your brain only has so much mental bandwidth, okay? Only so much ability to think clearly, okay? So you take in all of this shit and your brain becomes overworked. It becomes overstimulated. You're going in this direction, that direction, this direction, that direction, and you just become so fucking overwhelmed that you can't see clearly. So you'll do stupid stuff. That's why you'll blindly follow. You don't blindly follow these people because you're an idiot. I don't believe you are. Okay? You blindly follow these people because you've been so overwhelmed by all of their shit and all of everybody else's shit that your brain is so tired that you can't step back and think, you know, actually, what I'm trying to do is pretty simple. If I just did A, B, and C, and if I just tried A, B, and C, it'd probably work. So you lose the ability to think clearly when you consume all of this stuff. And it's kind of like a side effect of, you know, social media in general. you know, I've got a friend who lives out here in Thailand. I always call him a mentor, but he's a great friend and he's been a great influence on me since I've been in Thailand because of how successful he's been and how he does business. Okay, now this guy created a business in England, sold it for a lot of money, came to Thailand, created a business in Thailand, sold it for a lot of money, has just everything he touches, he's done great with. Okay, now he is old school, yeah? And what I mean by that is, I remember when I first met him, I'd only been here about a year or so, maybe earlier than that, but I started getting into digital marketing and online business and stuff as I moved to Thailand, started digging into it more and more and more. And I was in that phase where I was, you know, doing what I just explained, over consuming, you know, thinking everything had to be complicated. And I would go to him and we'd talk about what he was doing. And I'd be like, dude, you don't even have a funnel. How are you qualifying leads? You should be lead scoring. Do you know what Active Campaign does? Have you ever heard of Pipe Drive? And I would hit him with all of this shit. And I'd be like, dude, I can help you. We can build this. We can build that. You'd make way more money. You make more money. This guy has probably made millions in that business. Okay, I don't know how much he made, but they've made a lot of money doing it. And literally all he would do is pick up the phone, call people, and sell them the thing that he was selling. Okay, he had a product that he sourced from China. He'd call people and he'd sell it. Probably tracked all of his clients, all of his leads in a spreadsheet. And whenever I would go to him trying to overcomplicate shit, right, or telling him about all the stuff that I'd learned from the gurus online, he would just not be interested. He just wasn't interested in it. And the reason he was able to be successful with what he was doing was obvious to me now, and hopefully I'm trying to make this obvious to you, is he was able to just see things clearly. He said, I've got this thing that, you know, I know these people buy. I'm going to go out and find the phone numbers of these people. Maybe you got them from the yellow fucking pages. I don't know. I'm going to call them and I'm going to see if they want it. Like, that was it. Literally. That was fucking it. And he's made more money than almost everybody I know here. You ask him, oh, do you know who, you know, this guru is or that guru is? He doesn't fucking know. Doesn't care. You know, but what he does have is he has the ability to think clearly, right? To base what he's doing in reality. And that's what it comes down to. That's how you make it simple. You look at whatever it is you want to do to make your income, to make your money, to build your business, and you focus on the reality of your actual thing. And everybody's thing is different. Okay? And there's a billion different tactics and a billion different strategies, and they don't all work for all the different things. Just because some guy tells you to sell expensive shit, right? What is he selling? It's good. Sell expensive shit. People only sell to people that have money. Fine, but what the fuck are you selling? Because if you are selling fucking Lamborghinis and Bugattis, yeah, you shouldn't be telling that to somebody who's trying to get students so they can, you know, teach them online so they can make enough money to earn a good income and can go and work remote or go and live somewhere like Thailand. That advice just doesn't work. But this is what those gurus will tell you to do. And they never ever will let you know this. So you follow blindly and then you waste fucking years and months, and you get heartbroken and devastated, and you fail and you give up and you think you're shit. And you think online business is just impossible. Online business just doesn't work. And you don't know why. Because you go, well, I'm smart. I'm knowledgeable. I know all the complexities and the strategies. And I built this funnel and I did it this way and I did it that way. But it just didn't work for me. It must be me. Must be something wrong with me. I must just be unlucky. Because I know how to do it. I know what works. But you don't know what works. You know what worked for him. And you know what worked for him. But what he was selling may be way different to what you're selling. What he was doing may be way different to what you're doing. There are nuances to everything. Okay? So you have to look at what you're doing. You have to look at the way you're trying to make money and look at who your customers are. What do they say? What have you tried? What have you tested? Right? Price points. People online will tell you, charge this amount, charge that amount. There's a great online market who actually does speak truth. His name's Perry Belcher. And I remember watching a conference thing with him. And he said, I hate it when people tell me price doesn't matter. And if you follow these gurus online, they'll always tell you that as well. Price doesn't matter. Up your price. Just charge more. Just charge more. Perry Belcher said, price absolutely fucking matters. Of course it matters. Of course it matters. These statements are ridiculous. They're fucking ludicrous. The shit that these influencers and gurus come out with online is just fucking retarded. And people believe them. Because they got 2-3 million followers. Go into McDonald's and let them try and charge you $50 for a hamburger. You going to buy it? Of course you're fucking not. Of course price matters. It doesn't matter if you're selling online products, offline products, services, coaching, any of it. You know, charge what you're worth. That's retarded. What you're worth is what someone's willing to pay you. Right? Just because you think you're worth 50 grand an hour doesn't mean you are. You know, you have to be grounded and based in reality. End of the day, just break down what you're doing into simple steps. You know, stay off of social media, stop consuming it, okay? Because not only are you getting dopamine addicted, but you're frying your brain and you're frying the bandwidth that you actually need to actually get the result. By watching shit online, you're not getting the result. And like I said, it's taking the bandwidth from your brain away. That's so important, right, for you to understand. You need bandwidth in your brain so that you can think clearly and logically and think about what is specific and unique to you and what will work for you. Okay, don't copy blindly. Don't just follow. Don't be a lemming and just like march off of a cliff like most people do. Okay, just take a step back. It's not as hard as you think. Think clearly. You know, if you need advice, come into the community. We've got normal people in the community, normal people that are making money. Okay, you can talk to them, run your ideas by them. Okay, no one's going to tell you do it this way, do it that way. We don't do that. Okay, and yeah, hopefully you like that video. I hope it made sense, but it's a bit of a rant. It just pisses me off. But if you did like it, then you're probably going to like this one. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care.